Hey everyone, welcome to Simplilearn's YouTube channel. Today we will learn about the introduction to Tableau Public Desktop. That said, if these are the type of videos you'd like to watch, then hit that like and subscribe buttons and the bell icon to get notified.
Craving a career upgrade? Subscribe, like, and comment below. Dive into the link in the description to fast-track your ambitions. Whether you're making a switch or aiming higher, Simplilearn has your back.
Just for a quick info, if you want to upskill yourself to master Tableau skills, to land your dream job, or grow in your career, then you must explore Simplilearn's Tableau certification training. Simplilearn offers extensive Tableau training. This program enables you to solve business problems and improve operations. This course helps you master the development of dashboards from published reports, discover better insights from the data and create practical recipes for the various tasks that you can do with Tableau. That's not all. You also get 56 plus hours of blended learning, industry-based projects for experimental learning, dedicated live sessions by faculty of industry experts, course completion certificate, and many more. After completing this certification, many learners have transitioned into a data analytics role as a fresher or moved on to a higher paying job profile. If you are passionate about making your career in data analytics, then make sure to check out the link in the pinned comment and description box below to find more details on the Tableau certification training. Now, without further delay, let's get started with an introduction to Tableau. So, the agenda for today's session is we will understand what exactly is Tableau. Followed by that, we will learn what are the major companies who are dependent on Tableau and hiring Tableau experts. Followed by that, we will also look at the salary numbers of Tableau experts in India and also in the United States of America. Followed by that, we will check a detailed explanation on how to install Tableau and how to get started with Tableau. Followed by that, we will close the session by going through a practical demonstration on Tableau Desktop. Hope I made myself clear with the agenda. Now, let's get started with what exactly is Tableau. So, to understand what exactly is Tableau, let us imagine that you have piles of data in a spreadsheet. So, you can see the sample sales data right on my screen here. So, we have some data set. So, we have names and product names, etc. But you ought to create some meaning out of this data set so that your stakeholders or business unit heads understand what exactly is happening with your sales data. But do you think is it possible to make them understand just by displaying this long, heavy spreadsheet right in front of them? No, right? It can't create a value. It can't create an insight. It can't create a meaning, right? But what if you had a practical dashboard which could show everything to your stakeholder, your business unit head, what's happening in and across the country, in and across wherever your business is located, right? Maybe the top 10 products being sold in a state or top 10 products being sold in a region of that particular state, the top 10 people who are buying a lot of things from you, right? Everything in one single dashboard. The total number of sales you made in a week, month, quarter, or year, the total revenue you got, the total profit you made, discount you offered, everything, right? This makes a lot of sense to both your team leaders or business unit heads or your stakeholders or even you, right? So if that is something which can be done, then Tableau is your one-stop solution, right? Tableau is one of the top business intelligence tools which can help you create live dashboards and visualizations on your datasets and extract some values and insights which can turn things around for your business, right? So that's what Tableau is. Tableau is a business analytical software tool developed by America. Tableau helps people to understand, visualize, and make data-driven decisions in real time with extreme agility and accuracy. Now that we know what exactly is Tableau, let's also know what are the Tableau versions. So Tableau has basically 5 versions, and we are dealing with the first one, which is Tableau Desktop. Tableau data visualization application facilitates to examine virtually all types of structured data and generate interactive graphs and dashboards and reports quickly. So Tableau Desktop is something majorly freely available for the learners, and there are also the licensed versions. So we also have the Tableau server version. Tableau is capable of offering browser-based data analytics. And next we have Tableau Online. So this particular one is the licensed version. So this particular version is used by the enterprise level users based on the company and based on the data set. Maybe they're connected to the live cloud servers and etc. So this is the licensed version, and it's an online secure cloud-based solution used for sharing and collaborating on Tableau views and dashboards. Followed by that, we have Tableau Public. So this is also a public software freely available as open source for the learners, and it can visualize some basic spreadsheets, files, or PDFs, etc. And we will be working on that as well. And lastly, we have the Tableau Reader. So Tableau Reader is, let's say you are the stakeholder, or let's say you are the client, right? And you don't know what exactly is happening with your data, and you're not the one who's responsible for the queries and the processes happening on your data. You just need the output, right? You just need how things are going. You just need to understand the business, operations, etc. So for you, people like the ones who are just solely focused on understanding what's happening need Tableau Reader, right? So the Tableau developer will develop all possible dashboards and visualizations and send them, share them just to view only with the view access, right? So the view access will be supported by Tableau Reader on your mobile phones, on your desktops, MacBooks, and everywhere you want to access them, and you will have only the view access, and you don't have to worry about what's happening in the background with the queries and the process. So that's what Tableau Reader is. So that brings us to the 5 versions of Tableau. Followed ahead, we will deal with the features of Tableau, what exactly Tableau has to offer you. So Tableau offers you some robust level security, collaboration and sharing, trends and predictive analytics, and live and in-memory data, so which is really valuable. It can deal with live memory, and in-memory data means it can process your data on live. And after that, you have informative and mobile views. So we discussed on this. So you can access the Tableau Reader and the dashboards anywhere on the go, on a laptop or mobile. And it supports a wide variety of data sources. It can get connected to a spreadsheet. It can get connected to a PDF, cloud server, and a database or a real-time RDBMS, anything, right? So those are some important features of Tableau. Proceeding ahead, we have the next part of today's session, where we will understand the top companies which are hiring Tableau experts. So many companies, so basically the big 4 and Mang and many more. For example, here we have Accenture, EY, PepsiCo, Deloitte, Wells Fargo, Capgemini, Walmart. There are huge companies who are huge companies which are very much dependent on data analysts who know a good understanding of Tableau. Now, let's also discuss the salary numbers for a Tableau expert as a data analyst. So companies are ready to offer hefty salaries for a Tableau expert. When it comes to America, a beginner level Tableau expert can earn up to $50,000 to $70,000 per annum. And if you're an intermediate candidate, let's say with 1 or 2 years of experience, then you can expect $70,000 to $90,000 per annum. And if you're a highly experienced candidate, let's say more than 4 or 5 years of experience, you can expect $90,000 to $130,000 based on the company you're working with and the project you're handling. And when it comes to India, the salaries you can expect if you're a beginner are 4 lakhs to 8 lakhs per annum as a beginner. And if you're an intermediate candidate, let's say 1 to 2 years of experience, you can expect 8 lakhs to 12 lakhs per annum as a minimum. And beyond that, you can expect 12 lakhs to 20 lakhs and even more based on the company you're working with and the project you're handling. So those are some attractive numbers for an aspiring data analyst or a Tableau expert. Now, let's proceed to the core part of today's session, which is about installing Tableau onto your desktop and running a practical demonstration. So now we have reached to the next part of today's session, which is dealing with installing Tableau into your local system. So we are working on the Windows system. So let's open a browser. So I'm using Bing. So preferably you can go with Google or anyone that you have. Just type in Tableau public download. There you go. So you can see the first link over here, which is from Tableau Public. So just click on download, or you can just go to the website where you can see some options and go with the one you want. So here we have some impressive visuals and everything. And download Tableau Desktop Public Edition is the option you want to choose. So here, just download Tableau Public. You can write down your details over here. Download the app, and your Tableau Public is getting downloaded. There you go. You can see the Tableau Public Desktop 64-bit being downloaded for you, and it is the 2024 edition. Meanwhile, we can work on our dataset. So we know that the next part of today's session is based on a practical demonstration for our Tableau. Now, the Tableau is getting downloaded, as you can see here. And meanwhile that's happening, let's try to create a dataset for ourselves using ChatGPT. So here I'm creating a prompt for it. So I'll need a dataset with about 10,000 rows with the following details: row ID, order ID, and all these column headers. So this is completely a randomly generated dataset. Nothing is real about it, right? Now here we have the zones: east, south, west, north, central, and everything. So we will be considering the data for Indian states, right? So we'll be using all the 29 Indian states and cities here. Yeah, the cities might be a lot more, cities belonging to their respective states. And if you scroll down a little, we have some popular food makers in India and across the world. So we will be borrowing a little bit of the companies, little number of companies, right? Just, 2 to 3 companies. We have Nestle, Cadbury, and ITC. So these are just randomly generated data. Nothing is real about this data. This data is generated using ChatGPT. We're just taking the names here to just make it look a real, valuable here, right? So we have some categories. So 3 categories we're dealing with is Nestle, Cadbury, and ITC, and subcategories, basically they are products that we create and product names. And we will be also having some more input to the chat GPT here. So we'll be making sure that the numbers, that is sales, quantity, discount, profit, rate, and everything is accurate and realistic. And make sure that we're also selecting the city names which belong to that particular state, not some random city names, right? So this is the prompt that I created for our random, completely unrealistic sales data set. So this is not an actual data set which is available with the sales of these companies. This is completely random generated. Now let's copy this prompt and go to our ChatGPT and add it onto the prompt, and let's wait for the ChatGPT to create a data set for us. So ChatGPT is analyzing and it is reading the entire prompt, and it is understanding how exactly we are looking for the dataset and what are we expecting from that dataset or from the prompt we are writing right now. So don't worry if you want to follow up with us during this practical demonstration. We will be linking this particular prompt for creating your dataset in the description box, along with the dataset that we have generated right away. Right, so this has created us some data, and it has everything about the ship date, shipment mode, customer ID, custom name, city, state, country, region, product ID, product name, right? Everything that we required, right? Now let's check the progress on Tableau, if it's completely downloaded, so that we can proceed with the installation process. And once the Tableau is successfully installed, we can proceed with the practical demonstration. I can see it's still getting downloaded. Just about 2 to 3 minutes, and we will be ready with the dataset, and along with that the setup file for Tableau. So if you go back to ChatGPT, here somewhere we had a downloadable link. So there you go. You can just click on the download dataset so that your dataset also starts getting downloaded. And as soon as we install our Tableau, we can run our analysis. So the dataset is ready. Just a minute more and the Tableau setup file will also be ready for installation. There you go. The Tableau Public Desktop 64-bit 2024 edition is now successfully downloaded. Now just click on the open files to run the .exe file. That is a setup file for us. There you go. Just click on some license agreements and don't send product data usage. So you can, it's your option. You can just click on that. If not, you can just ignore that. Now just click on install. There you go, the installation has been done. So it is booting up. So this is how the Tableau desktop looks like. You can connect to any of the files, which is Microsoft Excel, text file, JSON, databases like Microsoft Access, and PDF files, spatial files, statistical files, and more on that. If you want to get connected to a server or a cloud server, you can also do that. And here you can see some existing top visualization on the Tableau website. And apart from that, you have a few more options getting started with Tableau. You've got some tutorials on how to start videos and sample datasets as well. And you have some Learn on Trailhead Tableau hands-on challenges, right? This is from Salesforce on based on some starting challenges on Tableau, so that for a beginner level, it's user-friendly and helpful to learn Tableau. So far so good. So we will be dealing with the Microsoft Excel in the next part. So with that, let's proceed with the next part of today's session, which happens to be the practical demonstration on Tableau. Now that we have practically installed Tableau and also ready with the dataset, let's proceed with the Tableau practical demonstration on the dataset that we just created. Now we might have to switch to Tableau and the Excel dataset that we just created. Just a moment. So this is the dataset that we just created, which has all the row ID, order date, ship date, and everything that we required, the sales, quantity, discount, profit, and everything, right? So remember to save your file as a .xml file. It should be a workbook, right? So that the Tableau can upload, or it can get connected to this workbook, correct? So let's get back to Tableau. Now we are connected to Tableau, and here we're dealing with an Excel file. So click on Microsoft Excel, and here you have your workbook, and you can see it is saved as .xls, right? So it's practically a workbook. Just click open, and it should load the data shortly. There you go. Now here we have a brief view of what exactly you're loaded onto the Tableau, right? So we have the dataset right here. So you can have the order date, ship mode, customer ID, customer name, and everything that we just created. And now let's go to the workbook. So here you can see we have the worksheets, the dashboard, and the story. So we will be creating a small workbook, right? So we'll be creating a small worksheet like 5 to 6, and we'll just link all those to the dashboard and see how exactly it works. Just go to the worksheet here, and here you can see the left section. So whichever is the indicated as a hashtag, that's the measure, and whichever is indicated as an alphabet, that is the dimension. So measure speaks for itself. Measure is something which you can quantify in the number, and the dimensions are which you can qualify, right? Maybe a customer name, maybe a region's name, or a state's name, city's name, right? Now that we have a clear understanding of the measures and dimensions, here you can see some filters, pages, and you can see some colors, sizes, text, details, and tooltips. And apart from that, here you have the standard view, fit, the width, the entire view. So we will be working on that as well. And here you can see show me options, where you can find all the types of charts that you can just create using Tableau. Now we have a brief understanding of how exactly Tableau works, and the story, and the dashboard, and the sheets, right? Now let's try to create visualizations. If you're already the user of Excel, then you might be having a brief understanding how exactly rows and columns works. So in the same way, we have rows and columns here. So these are the row sections and these are the column sections, and if you want to use them, you can use them. If not, the alternate, you have your rows and columns, right? So you can't go wrong with it. So if you want something to be on the columns, you can just drag and drop them, and if you want something to be on the rows section, you can just drag and drop them. Now let's create our first visualization. Let's say I wanted to check the country level sales. So you can just click on country or state, you can just drag and drop them on columns, and if you want to check the sales, you can just click and hold and drag and drop onto rows. Now Tableau automatically creates a chart for you, which is the most feasible one, and if you want to change it, you can also change it. And before that, let's try to arrange these in descending order, right, so that you can identify which is the highest selling or which is the highest state with the highest number of sales, right? And you can do that. And if you wanted to differentiate between each state, you can also drag and drop the state onto color, which will give you an individual color for each and every state. And if you can see this particular section over here, this acts as a filter. Let's say you wanted to check the details on only Maharashtra, you can do that, or any other state, maybe Kerala, you can do that, and Andhra Pradesh, right? So you can do that. So if you didn't want the type of graph you have just created, maybe the bar graph, you don't want that bar graph or column graph, and you wanted a map chart, you can do that. Just go to show me, and here you can see the map chart. Just click on that, and it will be converted into a map chart immediately, right? So here you can see the color codes, right? You can identify the darkest blue to have the highest sales here, and if you drag and drop the sales onto the label here, it will practically give you the numbers so that you have a clear understanding which state or which part of India had the highest sales. So I think Uttarakhand with 371,950 has the highest sales at the darkest blue. Now you can name this chart as country level. Now we can proceed ahead and try to create another visualization. Let's say I wanted to identify region level sales. So drag and drop region on the columns and sales to this particular location. And you can drag and drop region onto the color so that you have individual colors for individual regions, and you can drag and drop sales to label so that you have the accurate and exact number right over here. Close this, and let's type it as region wise sales. And here let's identify the categories with maximum sales or maximum number of quantity. So you can drag and drop the subcategory here and quantity in rows. Here maybe you can use a map chart and rename it as subcategory sales, so that you can identify which is that product which is the highest selling one or the maximum quantity. So you can change the aggregation to count. We just wanted count, not sum, so you have the count over here, and there you go. And then you can also add quantity to color, so you have a different color for different quantity. Now let's proceed with the shipment mode, so we can identify which is that shipment mode which is highly preferred by most of the customers. So we have first class, same day, second class, and standard class. So we can drag and drop the quantity over here and change the aggregation of quantity to count to identify which is that shipment mode which is highly required or preferred by most of the customers. And you can choose a pie chart for that, and it is too small so you can fit to the entire view. Now what you can do is drag and drop shipment mode to label and the quantity to label, so that we have a brief understanding of which shipment mode is highly preferred by most of the customers. So it's clearly visible that 26,745 on same day shipment is highly preferred by most of the customers. And let's rename it as shipment mode. And now let's try to identify the month-on-month sales. So let's pick up the order date, drag and drop it onto columns, and sales onto rows. And whenever you're dealing with dates, so whenever you're dealing with month-on-month or week-on-week, go with a line graph. So Tableau will automatically give you the line graph, so that's not a problem. But if not, you can select the line graph. Now we don't require the year here, and we don't require quarter here, so we just need month on month, and we got it. And sales, so you can see January, February, March, April, May, and etc. And if required, you can add sales to labels, and you have the numbers over here to identify which was that one month which gave you the highest number of sales. And you can also identify which products were the highest sold, what's happening, and everything, right? So you can drop it as month on month. And maybe you can also check state-wise sales or region-wise. We already did that. And you can do a city-wise sales, so we can identify which is that city with the highest number of sales, correct? And here you have it. Let's be it the way it is, because we will be using to add a filter and identify the top 10 states or cities, right? So what you can do is drag and drop the city onto filters, and here I want top 10 cities. Go with the field top 10, okay, apply, and you have the top 10 cities which are giving you the highest sales right here. And if you want, maybe you can add city to color, and maybe you can add the sales to labels to identify the number of sales, right? Now practically we are having a brief understanding of how exactly to create a visualization. And now let's create a dashboard. Now to create a dashboard, you can select this particular one which reads as new dashboard, and here the canvas size, you can just provide a range, or you can just go to the automatic so that we have this entire range of screen to use. I'll go with that automatic. There you go. And here you have the first country level sales. Drag and drop that sheet right here, and region wise sales, you can just place it anywhere you want. And we have subcategory wise sales, so I'll click it here, and the shipment mode, so I'll place it here. And apart from that, we have the month on month sales, so you can place it anywhere, somewhere over here. That should be good. And remember, you can also adjust the space consumed, right? And we can move the subcategory to here. There you go. Now it looks pretty decent. And here you have all the filters you want, which are completely interactive. Now let's say I want to identify the central region. Just click on that, and you have the central region. And maybe if you wanted to identify products and details of every sale that you made using the first class shipment mode, you can do that. And apart from that, you wanted to check the city-wise sales records, you can do that, right? So it's an interactive dashboard that you can create using Tableau. So that's how you can work on Tableau, and you can also have a complete slide share option here, so you can present the data, right? And that brings us to the end of this session on an introduction to Tableau. If you have any queries regarding any of the topics covered in this session, or if you require the resources that we used in this session, like the PPT, dataset, the workbook, and the prompt that we used to create the dataset, and the Tableau dashboard, anything, please feel free to let us know in the comment section below, and our team of experts will be happy to resolve all your queries at the earliest. Until next time, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more from Simplilearn.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.